Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Leigh, certified professional groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the pet grooming industry so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. And that's what we do right here every Monday, live from the grooming table at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here. One of my goals on my YouTube channel is to bring a new voice to the pet grooming industry, and that is one that includes pet owners as valuable consumers and not just pet groomers. With so many people seeking valuable knowledge in order to groom their dogs at home, having a place to learn proper dog grooming techniques and receive professional advice on tools, products, and where to get them is essential. And that is why I created this YouTube channel for you and your pets, my friends. Welcome to Go Groomer right here on YouTube. Tonight's topic is brand new dog grooming shears. They're affordable with outstanding performance. Is that even possible? Absolutely it is if you have a company like Kenchii Shears creating shears for you and me and the pets out there, because Kenchii knows the perfection that needs to go into the shear for every situation when it comes to grooming dogs. Whether you're a competition groomer, or you're grooming show dogs, or if you're just a pet groomer who's just grooming a lot of dogs and you need a comfortable workhorse shear that is not going to fatigue your hands and your thumb and your wrist, and it's just going to work for you. It's well balanced and it's affordable. And Kenchii has provided that for us, my friends. This is my shear line. It's called Sapphire by Amy Leigh, and it's made by Kenchii. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, aside from being gorgeous, it's outstanding. The work that you can produce with these shears is amazing. It is a set of 3. You have both your 8-inch straight, your 8-inch curved, and you have a 7.5-inch 52 tooth blending shear that all couple each other nicely. So the 3 of these shears is all you would need in your arsenal of shears to groom dogs, to groom your dog or to groom pet dogs if you're a professional. And you can buy them all individually as well. You don't have to buy the set. You will save money if you buy the set, but you can buy them individually if you have a curved shear that you just love so much, or a straight shear or a blending shear that you just love so much. You can, and you want to add that straight, or you want to add that curved shear to your arsenal of shears. You can do that, or you can purchase it all in a bundle. And right now Kenchii is offering a nice little launch party on these shears. They're offering a very nice brush and grooming spray for free if you purchase 1 or all 3 shears. Doesn't matter. They're offering that to you. So definitely go to kenchii.com and check out the value that they have set in place for you if you're interested in getting your hands and being one of the first to get your hands on the Sapphire shears by Amy Leigh. That's me. And Kenchii Grooming. They're wonderful. I've been using them constantly, and I couldn't wait to set this in front of you guys. They were designed for you. They were created for you. They were created to work very hard, to be well balanced, to not tire your hands, to remain sharpness, to that micro serrated edge that's on these shears. It grabs the coat, literally. It just goes, it gets it and it cuts it. It's amazing. You can feel it. It's fantastic. So I've put together a little demo for you guys tonight so you can actually take a little test drive with these shears, because I know many of you want to see them in action and want to learn a little bit more about them. And I want to give that to you because it's important to understand what you're getting and if it's the right fit for you. So I have put together a demo for you. You guys can test drive the shears with me. I love them. So I know many of you have already ordered them and ordered the sets. And as soon as you guys get them in your hands and you actually use them, I really want to hear your feedback. And so does Kenchii, because we worked very hard on this project to create this shear for you. It's affordable. It's $119 a shear. It's actually cheaper if you buy all three together, but you don't have to. That's the nice thing about it. So, I mean, Kenchii even has payment plans, to be honest. I believe they have a payment plan that you can separate the cost into like 3 different payments if it's too much, you know? So they really do have everything going on to try to keep us in the best grooming tools possible so we can provide quality care for our pets and all the pets that we groom. So, are you ready? Let's check them out. Let's check them out. Are you ready? You ready? Smash the like button and tell me that you want to see my shears. Tell me. They're so pretty and they work so nice. And they have a sapphire. You guys may be wondering, why sapphire? Sapphire is my birthstone. I am a Virgo and September is my birth month, which is actually the birth month of these shears too. So it was so cool that we called them sapphire. Sapphire, they are gold. The sapphire is my birthstone, and I also wear a ring that represents my birthstone and these sapphire shears. It is a gold ring with a sapphire, beautiful sapphire. And that is what the shears kind of mimic, so that it reminds you that when you're working, that all my little words are ringing in your ears. I'm with you. I'm working with you. These shears were made for you guys. So let's see what they can do. Introducing Kenchii's latest and signature series of shears, the Sapphire set by Amy Leigh. That's me! Beautifully forged and hand-honed Japanese alloy steel with custom non-slip micro-serrated semi-convex edge. Sapphire models are made for comfort and are finished with a satin brushed gold. They're beautiful. These sapphire shears were designed to fit in the hands of the everyday pet groomer or beginner groomer. And like me, born in the month of September, the sapphire shear includes qualities associated with the Virgo zodiac sign: precision, a desire to be of service, and a sense of duty, all of which are reflected in the performance of these shears. The 7.5-inch 52-tooth offset handle blending shear is the perfect shear to finish your scissor work, my friends. This will polish your grooms, erase your clipper lines, your scissor lines. This is not an aggressive blending shear. It is a nice, smooth blending shear. The 8-inch curved shear offers a lot of versatility because it has an even handle. So you can flip your shears and use that curve on either side, which really comes in handy, helping you shape the face, the head, the feet, the rear angulation on your dog. The curved shear also has dual finger rests, makes it easy for flipping. These shears are made for comfort, and they are designed to get you through a busy work day without stressing your hands and your wrist. Let me show you how they perform on a dog. The curved and the straight shear have a nice slim point at the top of the shear. This gives you so much accuracy when you're trimming around very detailed areas. And because they're 8-inch shears, you have the option of effortlessly using just the tip of your shears, meaning you have a lot of control in those fine detailed areas, you know, around the ears, around the feet, with just using the tip of the shear. This blending shear, it's a 7.5-inch 52-tooth blending shear. It is perfect for the pet groomer or for a beginner groomer because it's not aggressive. It really will just smooth off any finishing lines. So it helps you to produce perfect looking scissor finishing work. It just looks so natural. I think it's the perfect friend in this set of grooming shears if you are going to purchase the whole set. This shear is just the perfect little companion to this grooming set. I learned from experience many years ago that any blending shear can definitely take your grooms to a whole new level. Doesn't matter what your level of grooming expertise is, blending shears will definitely make your work stand out above the rest. Each shear in this sapphire set perfectly complements each other. It really does. The 8-inch curved shear, the 8-inch straight shear both give you so much control to quickly remove a lot of hair if needed, or to fine tune those detailed areas with just using the end of your shear, the tip of your shear. It's very slim and it's very accurate. The fact that these shears are hand forged out of the best 440 steel metal on the market ensures your shears will hold a sharp edge for a long time. And when your shears do need adjusted or sharpened, you must do yourself a favor and send them to Kenchii. You can find their shear sharpening service on their website. They have the best equipment to maintain quality shears, and they also have a staff that is extremely knowledgeable about shear sharpening. Teaming up with Kenchii to create these shears is literally a dream come true for me. I gotta be honest. I have always valued their products and their customer service and their attention to detail and their dedication and ability to produce products and tools that allow us pet groomers to execute flawless work and take pride in the pets we groom. Sharing a space in the pet grooming industry with Kenchii is an absolute blessing. So there's your little test drive. They've really performed well. The dog in the demo, he is a mini golden doodle and he has a very thick, heavy coat. I was so impressed with how the shears were grabbing in that coat, and they were so accurate. They didn't push the hair aside, they grabbed it and they cut it. The edge, the micro serrated edge on these shears, which is the cutting edge, it is ideal for a workhorse shear, and that's what we wanted to create when we created the Sapphire shear by Amy Leigh. Is something that would serve the person who is trimming a lot of dogs, not necessarily hand scissoring the whole dog, but just needs to get in there and do the finishing scissoring work. It is a great finishing shear. And it is also great for beginners because it is so well balanced. The finger rests, not the finger rest, it has automatic position for your hands. You can see it. When you pick up the shear, it automatically positions your fingers in the right place so that you can get the best action out of your shear. That's what these little carved out notches are for. And it really works. I mean, when you pick them up, it puts your hand in the right place. There's just so many things about these shears that will set you up for success, especially if you're learning to groom or if you groom a lot of dogs, because it keeps your hand in the right position so that you don't get a lot of fatigue, which is important as groomers. If we groom a lot of dogs, and our shear may be too heavy or unbalanced for our hand, it definitely will cause pain in your wrist and in your thumb, your hands. So all those things go into the design when creating a shear, and that's the kind of stuff that Kenchii puts into their shears. The metal that Kenchii uses is bar none the best in the industry. They have done the research. It's to be as light as it can be, as durable, and maintain a sharp edge as long as possible. So it's the whole process is perfection that Kenchii puts into their shears, and I am just so delighted to be part of that with them. I wouldn't just create a shear with anybody. I would want to know if I'm telling you guys it was created for you, which it was. I would want to know that it is going to do the job that you need it to do, and that it is affordable as well. So being able to team up with Kenchii on this is just it blows my mind. I mean, I wouldn't have teamed up with any other company at this point. They're the one. I told Alex that a year and a half ago, my husband. I said if I could ever create good products, it would have to be with the companies and the brands that I very, very much so believe in, like Prima Bathing. I totally believe in Prima Bathing Systems. It is the best system on the market. Kenchii Shears, they are the best on the market from every aspect, a price point, performance level, and quality. They nailed it. So how lucky are we to have Kenchii work together with us to create a shear that just sets us up for success. And I'm just so happy. I'm still on cloud nine over this, and I probably will be for quite some time. It's a big deal, and it's a good deal. So I'm so happy. I have linked the link to go to Kenchii's website if you are interested in checking out my shears. It'll link you right to my page on Kenchii's website that talks about everything with these shears. If you don't like my shears, then go look at, they have so many shears that are wonderful and able to produce quality work. So if you don't think my shear is the one for you, go look at another one. Honestly, I will still love you, I promise. But I really love this shear because it was made for the beginner, and it was made to produce a lot of work as a finishing shear. And it's wonderful. So I see we have a couple questions. One was, I know there's a lot of my friends out there that are disappointed that it is not made as a left-handed shear yet. I'm sure Kenchii will do that, especially on their lines of the shear lines that are favored, that they sell a lot of. They'll go to any means to keep you all happy. So if I'll tell you this right now, the shear launch is going well. They were only launched for sale this past Friday, so it's only been a few days at like 5 p.m. Okay, that was the first time you could purchase them, was this past Friday at like 5 p.m. And it's been a very wonderful launch weekend for these shears. They have been selling wonderfully. So that means that they're going to be paying attention. Kenchii, as they'll say, wow, everybody really likes this. What can we do to make the others happy? You know, our left-handed friends. What can we do to make them happy? Well, we'll make left-handed shears. And they will, guys. This is the first batch. This is the first one. They created so many of them, and Kenchii is going to keep replenishing them. That is the nice thing about having a signature shear agreement with Kenchii, is they will always be watching the inventory on the shear and say, well, we're getting low, we're right about here, so we need to put it back into production. And they will do their best to always keep it in stock. So having Kenchii be in charge of all that is just the way to go, you know, because they're so good at that. But, and also, you know, in tracking the sales, they're going to see the interest in this shear. And if it becomes a top seller, which I think it is going to, then that means that they're certainly going to create a left-handed shear. It'll probably come in the next batch or the next batch, but it's coming. They will do that. If the shear doesn't sell well, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is such a comfortable shear. The price point's beautiful. The shear itself is beautiful, and it keeps us connected because it has a part of me in the shear. It's a sapphire, you know. I'm a sapphire. So because it's going to be a good seller, don't worry, guys. The lefties are coming, okay? I know they are. So it breaks my heart to see the disappointment in the chat. I will say that. But we're listening, okay? We're listening. We love you guys. All right. Yeah, somebody asked about the dog in the demo. He's a mini golden doodle. That's Bean. Bean is also going to be in my course. So he's a beautiful dog to have as one of the dogs in my course, because he stands out so well. He's so easy to work with. He has a beautiful coat, and he's fun to look at. So I thought that's wonderful to have Bean as one of the dogs in my course. And if you guys haven't signed up to be notified when my course is live, there is a link in the description below that you can click on that and sign up to be notified when the course is live. Because the first week for 7 days when my course is live, and it will launch October 18th, when it's live for 1 week, it will be $50 off. So if anybody is interested in that course, I want you to get in on the savings. So it will be $149 for the entire course versus $199. So definitely go and sift through the links below. There's so many of them down there, but they're all for your benefit. And find the link to my course on Podia. That's going to be my pet grooming course. And click on that and subscribe to become notified when the course is live. And then you will, if you're interested, then you can be one of the first ones to save money when the course launches. And that's my idea. I wanted to offer that to, you know, most of my people here, you know, I know we'll get in on it early, so I know you're going to save that money. And that's why I did that. So CMM says, I bought Kenchii Shears because of Amy too. Glad they're working with you now. Yes, they are. We were working on this project since about April. So it's been a while that we've been, you know, trying to put everything together and back and forth deciding what would make it the best shear to represent me and my audience. And we finally came up with this set, and it's pretty awesome. I have no complaints, none whatsoever. I am proud of these shears, and I am proud to put them in your hands too. So a lot of cool things are coming, guys. You know, this was the first of one of the biggest things that's going to happen this year. My course is launching in October, and that is just a one trim. It is one trim. It is not a dog grooming course that you're going to learn to trim any dog and walk out with a certification and say, I'm a professional. No, this course is going to take you up close and personal and bring you in on what I call the comfort trim. And it's basically just a pet trim. It's an easy trim. It can be applied to a purebred dog or a mixed breed dog. And it's a very professional looking trim, and you can do it. And that is what my course focuses on, is this one trim that I like to call the comfort trim. And I'll be giving you guys a preview of it. There'll be trailers coming, so you know you'll figure out if it's for you or not, you know. Jules says, I hear you loud and clear on that. I hate the fact that I have to 7 all over. Oh, we're talking about shave downs? Blech. Yeah. Carrie says, grooming question for you. I have a dog I really like, but keeps getting extremely matted, but the owners want me to help keep the coat longer. Okay, so they have him in a longer trim, but he comes back matted. The mats are terrible on the legs. What to do? I'll tell you right now, Carrie, what you have to do is you have to say that the length of time between grooming is too long for the length of coat that they want to leave on the dog. Obviously, Carrie, if the dog is coming back with mats, they're not brushing him at all. And if he is being brushed, then they don't have the knowledge to properly brush the dog. They're not doing an adequate job of brushing him with how much coat is left on the dog. So you have two things you can tell them, Carrie. You can say, look, we can either shorten the trim up a little. I mean, I'm not talking about a clip down. I'm just saying, if you're leaving an inch of coat, say, well, let's try a ½ inch of coat. See if you guys can maintain that, because if the dog comes back to me wearing mats, he's uncomfortable. And that's all you have to tell the owner. That's all they want to hear. My dog's uncomfortable? Well, what do we do to fix that? You know, well, we can shorten up the trim a little bit or tighten up the grooming schedule. So if he's only coming every 8 weeks, let's try 6 weeks. Let's see what it's like in 6 weeks. Oh, he's still matted. Well, we can either go shorter or we can move it to a 5-week trim. If they want the coat and the length of coat, that's okay. But if the dog is coming back matted, then it's not working for their lifestyle and the dog's lifestyle. So you have to find a trim that does work with the dog's lifestyle and the owner's lifestyle. And that's it. It's about coming up with solutions. And that's how you talk to him, Carrie. She said, he's getting hosed off after the beach, and I don't think washed. Okay, yeah, and that's another thing. So he's running around in sand and dirt and stuff is collecting in his coat, and he's just getting hosed off. He's not getting brushed out. He's not getting washed, so to speak. So it's inevitable that his coat is going to pay the price, and it is. So honestly, if he's that active and he's that down and dirty, Carrie, and they are not properly able to brush him or wash him just due to lack of knowledge or lack of time, then you come up with a solution. You say then we need to tighten up the grooming schedule or probably trim him a little shorter, because that's what's best for him. Don't forget to tell him, Carrie, he has to wear the mats. When you say that, they think about that. And they go, that doesn't sound very nice, does it? No, it doesn't. Your dog is wearing the mats, not you. The mats, they hurt. It pulls his hair. And so all you have to do is explain that to him, okay? They want what's best for their dogs. So I'm glad you brought it up, because I want a lot of people to hear that message. Whether, some of the people in the chat are pet groomers, or whether they take their dog to a groomer. Maybe they're having this same issue. And I want you guys to handle it that way by saying, the dog is wearing mats, so what do we do to change that? The pet owner may say, oh, well, I'll just brush him more, and say, well, I know you try. It's not as easy to brush him at home as it is for me here on the grooming table. So why don't we try to shorten that trim up a little bit so he doesn't have to wear mats? Because the longer the hair is, the more likely it is to mat. So just talk to them. They need you. You're the professional, and they need your advice, and they need to know what the options are, and they'll appreciate that. You're very welcome, Carrie. Terry Smith says, Amy, I tried the Groom, I think you said the iGroom Tearless Facial on Doodle's beards today, and I love it. The smell is wonderful too. Have you tried it on your own eyes? I have not tried it on my eyes yet. Have you? I probably should. We are approaching 100,000 subscribers on YouTube here. I think maybe I might have to rub that stuff in my eyes just for you guys, so you know it doesn't burn, or it does burn, right? So, okay. I say that's a deal. I say when we hit 100,000 subscribers and we have that celebration along with giveaways, I love to give stuff away when we hit milestones, guys, to you. So when we hit that, I'm going to definitely demo the iGroom Tearless Facial Shampoo in my eyes, just to lay to rest that it is a good product, and it is one that we can put up against our favorite Tropiclean Spa Facial too, okay? So fair enough. Sounds good. I do love it. It does smell good, Terry. I agree. I really do like it. King of Aliens says, I want to eat the froth. It does look yummy, but I guarantee it probably doesn't taste that good, But hey, King of Aliens, if you want to froth up some shampoo and give it a taste, let us know. Let us know. It does look yummy, and it smells good too, especially depending on what product you're using. It smells edible. But so did the blueberry facial that I rubbed in my eyes and tasted of Tropiclean, but didn't actually taste so good. It tasted like perfume. So let's see. Ahmed says, how to deal with clients who demean my job and treat me as a dirty service worker. I don't like what I'm hearing there. Is that the way you're treated by clients? You don't put up with that. I don't care who they are or who they think they are. You are doing a job and a service that not many people can do and do well. And you're also doing a job that is very physical and very taxing on your body. You put yourself on the pedestal, okay, Ahmed? Do you hear me? You put yourself up there. You say, hey, I don't know who you think you're talking to, but what I do is quite special, and I do it for your dog because your dog is worth it, and that's who I work for. If they're rude or unkind to you, you definitely don't have to respond back in that way. You just simply don't give it the time of day. You just You just don't tolerate it. You don't allow yourself to be treated that way. I don't care who you are and what you do. I don't care if you scoop poop for a living. Somebody's got to do it, right? It's an important job. So don't ever let yourself be belittled or demeaned. Stand up for yourself. Yes, definitely. Okay. Okay. That upsets me when people treat other people like they're not worthy. That's bad. Angie Root says, what shampoo do you recommend for dogs that have an oily coat? Oh, I have a favorite. The oily coat, actually, iGroom they make a product that has charcoal in it, and that's supposed to be a good cleaning one. They also have a squeaky clean shampoo. Those are iGrooms. But one of my very favorite degreasing shampoos that I love is that Davis Degrease shampoo. It's made by Davis. It's fantastic. It lathers wonderfully, and it just sucks the dirt and grime right into the suds. It's a wonderful degreaser, and it's very affordable. So that is the Davis Degrease shampoo. That is my favorite for an oily coat. That's a good question. I've talked about that product before too. Kathy B says, Angie used question. Okay, Kathy says, Angie, I did get the question though. Good. Everybody's trying to help each other get their questions answered by saying, put a line in front of it so Amy can see it. Absolutely. Now let's see. I really don't have a lot of clients that we have issues communicating with. I take the time to communicate with my clients when they come in, and I always greet the dog every time. You know, I'll go out, but I schedule it that way. I don't schedule myself so I've got 3 dogs in here barking and carrying on or on the table, and then another dog comes in and I have to go tend to that dog. I schedule it so that I'm done with a dog and I get to go and meet and greet with the dog and the owner, so I can check in with them and see, how has the skin and coat been? Have there been any health changes? And as I'm talking to the owners, I'm looking at the dog and petting the dog and touching the dog and making my own assessment as far as, wow, he's really lost some weight since I saw him last. Or, you know, what's this flaky stuff on his back? Has he been scratching? Is he itchy? Do I need to, you know, give him a nice good condition today and try to rejuvenate that skin and coat a little? I always assess the dog when I'm going out to greet the dog. And I'll take at least 5 minutes usually with each client upon check-in to just talk with them and the dog and kind of look at the dog and see how he's doing. Is he matted? You know, does he have fleas? Hopefully not. But all those things, I take that time to mingle with the client, but I'm also assessing the dog at the same time, so that if I see there's something we need to talk about, then I have the client in front of me and I can say, wow, why is her ears so matted? Has she been shaking her head, or her ears bothering her? You know, stuff like that are all indications. You know, matted ears. If the dog doesn't typically have matted ears in 6 weeks and now they come in and they're like 2 big mats, that's telling me that she's rubbing her ears all over something. Their ears are itchy, or that she's scratching them a lot or shaking her head. And so you want to talk about that with the client so that they're fully aware that something may already be going on in there. I'm going to take a look when I get her in here on my table and I'll report back to you. But it's just putting a little message out there to the client already to be prepared to hear when they pick the dog up that maybe the ear is looking a little yucky. And this is what I found. And maybe they should, you know, take a look at getting an appointment at the vet and have them look at it and see if it's something that needs addressed. You know, just stuff like that. But it's really important to assess your dogs before you groom them, even if you're grooming your own dog at home. You know, when you're bathing your dog and brushing them, that is the perfect time for you to see up close and personal what the skin condition is, if there's new warts, if there's ticks, anything. All those, you know, brushing, bathing, and drying your dog is the perfect time to assess their skin and coat from the last time you groomed them. So take that time to do that. It's really, it's really important. Allegris Felice says, will you have a mini course or tutorials on standard breed cuts? I have a Coton de Tuilier and would like to keep her in a manageable cut, but not the typical puppy cut. Yes, the course I'm coming out with is the first of hopefully many courses. So we'll see how it's received with you guys. And obviously I'll be relying on your feedback too, if you take my course, to tell me if it was really, really helpful, because I'm trying to make it as helpful as possible. But to answer your question, Allegris Felice, you could actually use my comfort trim that I'm going to be showing you, the course that's coming out. That would show you how to do a pet trim for your Coton. A Coton typically is in full coat. So if you want him trimmed, and that is basically just a pet trim. And there's a few different ways to modify that. All of that's going to be talked about in my course. So yes, because there is not a Coton trim, because they don't get trimmed. They basically are in a pet trim, a comfort trim. So I think my course would probably be pretty good for you. And Ingrid Lou says, hi Amy from Scotland. Wow, hello from Scotland. That's awesome. Does pulling the hair out of the ears hurt them? It looks like it must hurt. Well, you would think so, right? It's not like pulling your nose hairs out. I'll say that. Your nose hairs hurt when you pull them out. But no, pulling the hair out of the ears, it does not. The skin inside of the dog's ear is very pliable, tender, and moist. Also, there's a lot of not a lot, but there's earwax in there that doesn't allow the hair that's inside of the dog's ear, not on the earlobe, what's inside of the ear. The earwax doesn't really allow it to deep root, so it comes right out. I mean, you can literally pull it out with your fingers like this. It comes right out. If your dog has a very irritated ear, it's red, it's inflamed, it's got a lot of discharge, it might smell a lot, then when you remove the ear hair, it could cause it to be irritated at that point, because the skin inside there, the tender skin, was already irritated. So at that time, I would say don't pluck the ear. Get the ear healed up and cleaned up on a regular daily basis, and maybe a week or two later take a look in there, and if everything is nice and calm, not red, not inflamed, doesn't stink, then you could pluck the ears. Because when an abundance of hair is in there, it is going to allow all that stuff to just build up and sit against the ear, inside the ear, and it will cause problems. So that is why it's a double-edged sword. When do you pluck, when do you don't? You don't pluck if the ear is really upset. Like if it's definitely showing that it's irritated and inflamed or anything, then yes, let's not pluck right now. Let's get the ear fixed first. It may be a severe case of ear hair in there causing it, and in that case, it may need plucked, and that may not be something you can do. You may need to go to the vet or to a professional groomer and have them do it, because it does need to be done exactly right. You can cause problems. So I hope that helps you, Ingrid. It doesn't hurt them. In fact, most of the dogs that I pluck the ears, I notice they go, like when you scratch a dog on their back and they go like this, when you pluck ears, they kind of go like this too. You can tell it must feel good. It must be some type of relief. So let's see. Pam says, if you could only get one of the Sapphire shears at this time, which of the three would work best for a poodly doodle? You probably would want the curved, because the straight and the curved are your vital. You can't groom a dog without a straight shear. The curve, you can do most all the same work with the curved shear as you can with the straight shear. In fact, I could do all the same work with the curved shear as I would with a straight. If you're not sure about a curved shear, then get the straight. You got to have the straight shear. You got to have a shear like this, not the blending shear. The blending shear is a bonus. because the blending shear in my set is to blend off imperfections. It's not an aggressive blending shear. It's really to blend off imperfections in your scissor work and your finishing work. That's what this blending shear is made for. So I would say the curved shear would be my best advice for you, Pam, I would say. Uncle Sam's niece says, hi, Amy. Well, hello, Uncle Sam's niece. I believe that's A. Dunham. Says, I ordered the thinners from Kenchii last night. So excited to get them. They are including a pen brush and the grooming sprays, so it's a great deal. Congratulations and thank you as always. Absolutely, and I know right now, I think it's just for like a week, they're offering that scissoring finishing spray as well as the wooden pen brush. And they're throwing that in for free with the standard price of the shear. So I think that's pretty awesome of them, you know? And I said to Sammy, I said, well, I said, you have it priced nice. I said, you know, you're giving a lot away. And he said, well, he says, we like to get everybody excited when they receive new products and also try some of their other products so that, you know, you can see that, hey, the shears are great, but you might like the scissor spray too. You know, and it actually helps your scissor work too when you're using a scissoring spray. So Sammy knows what he's doing. Trust me. He knows. He has groomed show dogs for years, so, and shown dogs for years. He knows. He knows everything that we need in those shears, in every shear. He's quite amazing. Your Sapphire thinners. Oh, that's the one that you ordered. Okay, you said I ordered the thinners off. Yes. Okay, so these thinners, Uncle Sam's niece, I like them for so many reasons. It is a 7.5 inch thinner, which my Jonathan David, I believe, is supposed to be an 8 inch from here to here. I think it is. I don't know. Mine are bigger, as you can see. Can you see that? Wait, let me back up. Back. Mine are bigger than the lightning shear. The lightning shear takes much more coat than mine does, because this is, I believe, a 40 tooth and this is a 52 tooth, and it's a 7.5 inch shear. So where I like this one is, you know, in the corners of the eyes, thin down the cheeks. Definitely, if you scissor your silhouette on your dog, then you just comb through it and just kind of smooth off your scissor lines where you did scissor and blend them away, and it just looks natural. It looks so natural, and that's what this shear really is nice for, is scissoring off your scissor edges, you know, so it just looks natural. It looks great. I'm really anxious for you to get them, and I'm anxious to hear your opinion of the shears. All of you guys, I really want to hear feedback, and so does Kenchii. So let us have it. And don't forget, Kenchii offers a 30-day, no questions asked, money back return, or you can trade it in for another shear, say, and within 30 days. I didn't like it, didn't fit well in my hand, or it didn't feel good to me, or it didn't cut the way I was hoping it would. It didn't take enough coat. I was hoping it would take more coat, whatever. You can reach out to them. They have a 30-day money back guarantee, no questions asked, within the 30 days of purchase. So another cool thing, I think. Of course, if you drop them and step on them and run over them, they're going to be able to tell that. So don't go sending those back and expect a refund. And don't drop your shears. It's bad for them. Don't ever do it. All right. Aronia says, I am new and forgot to use a line. Do you have a question up there? Let me just scroll and see if you do. Okay, says, do you agree, Amy, that Tibetan Terriers should never be shaved? Have you groomed that breed recently? Thank you. No, I have not groomed a Tibetan Terrier actually ever. I've never had a Tibetan Terrier in my area. And no, I haven't, but I am familiar with the coat type. I am familiar with the breed. They have a little bit of a wiry yet cottony coat. Yes, they can be clipped. They should not be clipped short. They're typically left in full coat, but not everybody can maintain a dog in full coat. It gets matted. So if it's a pet and you want to keep them comfortable and not have to brush them twice a day, then you're going to want to come up with some type of trim. The best trim for a Tibetan Terrier would be a scissor trim, and especially with blending shears. And that would just make it look really natural, and it would be a fun trim too. But you can absolutely, you can clip a Tibetan Terrier, absolutely. But you definitely don't want to trim a Tibetan Terrier really short. You definitely would. It would definitely affect the coat. Any trimming is going to affect the coat. Let me clarify that. Any clipper work is going to affect the coat. It will come back softer, maybe even a little more dense. It can just change the texture of the coat. So yeah, and I wish I had one. Hopefully someday, if I get a mobile grooming van, I can come and groom somebody's Tibetan Terrier and experience that and film it for you guys. I'm hoping that if I do go mobile, which I think I will eventually within the year, I'm hoping that I will be able to travel to dogs that I'm not typically able to groom because they're just not very prevalent in my area. You don't see them. You know, there's a lot of breeds around here that I don't see. Kerry Blue Terriers, rarely. Dandy Dinmont Terriers. There's so many breeds I would love to get my hands on. Bedlington Terriers, not very common. All that stuff's not common around here, you know, and I would like to go to the dogs and learn to groom them. So maybe even with breeders that specialize in those breeds of dogs, so they can give us, you know, the ultimate tips on how to care for that coat type and how to properly trim it. So yeah, how would I trim a Tibetan Terrier? Probably scissor trim, a complete scissor trim. That with my Kenchii lightning shear, I think it would do a fantastic job on a Tibetan Terrier. So I probably would just completely hand scissor that dog, make short work out of it with that shear for sure. Tasha says, so with this course, will you learn how to groom different dogs and will get a certificate? No, you are not going to learn how to groom different dogs. You're not going to learn multiple dog breeds trims. You're not going to learn how to a standard Schnauzer trim, you know, your Cocker Spaniel placement of the pattern. You're not going to learn that. Bichon trim, Westie trim. No, I'm not going to put all those dog breeds in one course for $150. You know, I can't do that. But I can show you how to do one trim that is basically a pet trim, which is what most pet groomers do on all breeds, is a pet trim. So that it is not a breed standard trim, and you will get a certificate of completion, but it is not a certificate that you are now an all breed dog groomer. It is not that kind of course. So I want to make sure you guys understand that. I do not want you to think that you're going to take a $150 course and be a professional certified dog groomer, because that's not going to happen. And if it did, that would just be too good to be true. Let me see here. Terry says, yes, congratulations on your shears. That's one. Thank you. I am very over the moon over that. I can tell you. I'm very excited. Angie Root says, so the more teeth of the thinner, the finer the blending. Yes. And also the size of the blender. So if you have a 7-inch 50-tooth blender and you have a 6-inch 50-tooth blender, well, the 6-inch 52-tooth blender is going to take even less hair as the 7-inch. Does that make sense? Because you're compressing all those little teeth down. So yeah, the more teeth, and it also has to do with the amount of space between the teeth, which has a lot to do with how long the shear is. You know, so if it were a 5-inch shear, we would be compressing all those 50 teeth into a 5-inch shear. It's going to blend an even finer blend. So yeah, that's a good way to determine it. But there's other variables. Like you can see on my shear Each tooth has its own little notch on it, so that grabs the coat too. The same with the Jonathan David shear is like that too. It has a little different of a tooth on it. You see how it looks more like a snaggle tooth on the end of that, whereas this one looks more like a snake tongue. The end of the, see it? Yeah, that all affects the way it cuts. So there's so many variables, and if you're not sure, and you're not sure what blender you want to get, and you call and talk to Kenchii, they're very knowledgeable obviously about their shears, and they can explain to you what would probably be the best choice for you when you tell them how you're looking to use it, you know. So yeah, but that's a good way to think of it, Angie, is the more teeth, the thinner, the finer the blending, the more smoother, the less coat it takes. When I use the term less aggressive a lot, it's a less aggressive shear than my Jonathan David lightning shear. That means it takes less hair. It's more forgiving. So, you know, you wouldn't see flaws even, you know, in your blending shears. When you have an aggressive blending shear like a chunker and you're not using it properly, you'll see the flaws. I mean, it'll look bad if you're not using it properly. So there are methods and techniques to blending, and that is something that I definitely touch on in my course too, is how to properly use my particular blending shear, especially. So yeah, I'm trying to put it as much into that as I can, guys. But it's one trim, so you can master one trim. CMM says, Amy, will your course teach the proper way to use blending shears? I just said that. Yeah, it will. Yes, it will. In my course, we're going to go over in the beginning the tools and products that I'll be using in my course. And the one lesson in my course, one of the very beginning lessons, is tools and products and how to use them. So I will show you the tools and the products, tell you why we're going to use them, and then show you how they're used. And then we move on in the lesson. And then you'll see them being used in the lesson, and I'll point out again, and that's why we're using this blending technique, because we're smoothing down, you know, the lines on the pattern, or you know, whatever it is that I'm trying to explain. I'll already give you a pre-show of that before you see it in use. A pre-show of what it is, why it's used, and how to use it properly. That includes clippers, putting on your blades, guard combs, how to use a comb, how to use a brush. There's a proper way to brush your dog, and I will show that in my course. So it should be very, very informative. Some things you may know, a lot of things you may not, but it's definitely going to be good. I can promise you guys that. So I've been pretty busy with it, and I'm still going to be busy for quite some time getting it all put together. Not just the actual course itself, but then getting it right online and having everything online situated and set up properly. It should be available to anybody in any country. That's what I'm hoping. So it depends on if you have a certain means or method of payment, then, you know, that matches the system, then you'll be okay. Uncle Sam's niece says, I am looking for a good tub drain, a hair catch for my tub. Any recommendations? The prices vary so much that it's hard to know what's worth the money. Thank you. Well, a tub drain, my tub came with one, so it isn't something I've ever really been in the market for, to be honest with you. My tub has its own hair trap too that I have to empty out and unclog, you know. So I'm not sure what to tell you there, because I don't really have any good advice on that, other than the one that came with my tub, which is by Vet Direct or whoever, TriStar Vet. It's fantastic, but it came with the tub. So you could possibly go to tristarvet.com and look at their traps and their tub drains, and that's what's on mine. I really like it. So maybe check that out. Let's see. Karen says, if you are unavailable during your live course, we'll be able to watch the replay. It's not a live course, Karen. It's a course that you're going to purchase online. And once you purchase it, you'll have to create a login and a site, to log into the site to access it. And then once you do, you'll have access to it forever. It's never going to go away. Because you purchase the course, you'll always be able to use it as a resource too. So the course is laid out in lessons, all in the same course. So you may, decide someday you're struggling with nail trimming and you're like, I need to watch that 15-minute lesson Amy gave on nail trimming in her course. So you'll go in and you'll click on nails, because there'll be different lessons, and you just watch that one. Or if there's probably you wanted to learn something about scissors or how to hold your scissors, you'll go back to the first module that talks about tools, products, and equipment. So it's not going to be live, and that's what I like best about it, because sometimes when I do something live, I forget to tell you guys things I want to tell you, or forget to show you what I want to show you, and I also can't bring you in as close live as I can if I'm lining up the shots and filming it. So filming it is the way to go. So Debbie says, will your course be on a set time or a flexible schedule? It is your flexible schedule. It is basically like taking an online course that, you just click on the lessons and you take it. If you want to go back and rewatch, you can go back and rewatch. If you want to rewind, you can rewind. You want to skip ahead, you can skip ahead. So you're in control. You're in the driver's seat of the course for sure. It's not going to be like, oh, I missed that. Oh, now I'll never know what she was saying. Now you can go back and rewatch it 100 times if you want to. Once you purchase it, you can always log into it, always. So there's going to be about 9 to 10 modules, little lessons. Each one is going to be about 15 minutes long. So there's quite a bit of information packed into that. So we take our time on each lesson. If it's getting to be overwhelming, then you watch 1 or 2 one day, and then you take a break from it and just process the information and pick it up 2 days from now. There's no time frame for you to not be able to access it anymore. You'll always be able to access it. So that's good questions. King of Aliens says, I just want to say thank you for existing. You definitely make Mondays worth it. You're a great person and deserve to keep on smiling. Well, thank you, King of Aliens. And I have every reason to smile. I'm very happy. I'm happy with what we do. I'm happy getting together with you guys. I love seeing the love that you guys share to each other in the chat and the support and in the private Facebook group. You guys are so good to each other and so helpful, and we created that together here on Go Groomer. We created our community. It is our community, and it wouldn't be anything without you guys. All of you are part of this community, and together we make a difference, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So yes, I am very happy. I have many reasons to smile. I also have great family and a lot of love around me. So I'm very fortunate. And I know that. So I think I might have to wrap us up here, guys, because I can only talk so much about these beautiful gold shears. Next week, we're going to have to get down to some lessons. I think we're going to be focusing on some bathing methods next week. How's that sound? You guys want some good demos on bathing methods? I got a good one I want to show you guys. Not frothing. Frothing is great, but we're gonna do something else. I think we could froth conditioner. We haven't done that too. So yes, we will be getting diving a little deeper into bathing next week, and some good, awesome ways to bathe your dog and get them clean at home if you don't have a professional dog grooming tub. And how to get the most out of the bath and get them clean. So hey Jenny, how are you doing? I see you popped in here. She said, I was just brushing out a Cocker Spaniel after bathing him earlier today. He just got a touch-up brushing and a little bit more of a trim in his paw pads. Well, I know you're having fun in that little grooming salon that you created, Jenny. It's pretty awesome. She has a great setup. She has a Prima Bathing System. She just got a new hydraulic table that was donated from, I think, was it a rescue or a grooming company that had to close down, and they donated their equipment to fosters and rescues. Pretty cool. See, there is so many good people out there. I love our group too, Ashley. Absolutely. It's wonderful. Well, listen up, guys. I will see you next Monday live from the grooming table. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight and being part of our community and making our Mondays great. I mean, you do. You really do. So I thank you for that, and have a wonderful week. Keep being awesome. And I'm going to throw down the subscriber showdown for you from last week because it's so cool. I love you guys. Here's a subscriber showdown. Your dog is the demo dog at the Andis booth.
Pretty cool.